Hello everyone, I'm Diorc1 and welcome to my very first Minecraft video. What I thought I'd do is just show you around my first 3 builds on the server I play on, which is called Worlds Collide. I'll include a link in the description, hopefully. And that should make a good enough start, I think. So this was my very first plot build, and it was a very simple sort of mountainy area with a stream, bridge, and a couple of small houses, or smallish. Let's go inside one of these houses, shall we? As you can see, there are all sorts of variations in here. I'm using the Conquest texture pack, which I can't recommend enough, created by Monsterfish. I'll also include a link to the forum thread for that. Which gives you so many extra blocks as metadata. These, for instance, are variations on oak wood planks. Let's go upstairs. And here is the master bedroom. You'll see these carpets which look like animal pelts. They are actually a variation, well, they are actually grey carpets in this texture pack. And look at that, that's a pressure plate, and there are several of those. Now in here, another small bedroom. Now look at this. This is a variation on a glass texture. Normally, to close off a room, you would put a wall of blocks there to separate it from the stairwell. But using this texture as one of the glass textures, it just creates a sense of more space rather than being enclosed in this tiny little area, which would be with a wall of blocks on either side. Upstairs, another small room. This is white carpet, which comes out as sheepskin. It's a very big sheep. And that's another pressure plate texture, a chessboard. Let's go look at the other house. Whoop, that's not the way out. This is. Close the door. And I've left the door open here. Again, a simple kitchen. Simple dining room. Nothing in the cupboard. They're obviously poor. See this? This animated glowing embers is a variation on the coal texture, or coal blocks. Again, simple bedrooms. Unfortunately, you can't put any paintings up because there's something on the server that deletes ground items which cause lag, like to stop, griefers from spawning 10 gazillion minecarts and all those sorts of problems. But it also, for some reason, deletes paintings. I did have paintings all over this build, but they just kept disappearing, and it took me a little while to work out what was going on. So, that's the first build. I was quite happy with this bridge, fairly simple. Slabs, and cobblestone walls and stone slabs. Some stone brick, quite simple, but quite effective, I think. This was the second build I did on the server, a small castle or keep, which I thought could be used as like a border outpost, perhaps. I might actually see if I can take a schematic of that at some stage, because I do like it. I built it up onto a headland, so it could be perhaps overlooking a river or the mouth of a river, or a small village perhaps. And I was really quite pleased. I managed to cram a lot of detail into a very small build. These plots in this first world are only 32 by 32, which is really very small, and so leaving you a limited sort of area to build in. Well, very limited. But you see, it's the first room, ignore that. You come into this tower and you go through this door, and there's an arrow slit looking onto the gateway, another one on the other side of course, so that you can destroy any attackers who might be coming through the gate. Let's go downstairs, underground into the kitchens. I was quite pleased with this stove. It's very simple, a couple of trapdoors, a couple of upside down stairs, some pressure plates, iron pressure plates, and some furnaces. It looks quite nice. Ignore that. And again, the shelves has a metadata of planks, oak planks, 5 colon something or other, 6. Okay, up onto the second level. And we have a room where perhaps the men and all the officers might sort of hang out when they're not on duty. Sit by the fire, read a book. Have a look at that. That's another of the variations of the glass panes in this texture pack. You also have variations on glass blocks as well. And here is the captain's quarters. Quite simple, fairly Spartan. This is a really nice texture. Again, a variation of a wood slab. And it has a map, and when you connect multiple of them together, say a square of 4 or a square of or 6 maybe blocks, or maybe even 8, you end up with these really large maps which look like a place where perhaps they do strategy planning for the big attack. Upstairs again, onto the top of one of the towers. You see this again within the texture pack is a variation on webs, which gives you this marvelous spears which are stackable. So you can end up with very long spears like pikes, or you could use one high and perhaps create a pit trap with spikes down the bottom. That's the next build we'll be looking at over there, but we'll go upstairs and look at the barracks first. And it's again just a very simple sort of thing: beds, chests for storage, a table for the men. And out onto the roof of the tower in which the captain's quarters are, overlooking the previous build. All in all, I was quite happy with it. It looks quite nice. I spent a fair bit of time on these builds. I was knocking one over in about 10 hours. It sort of might seem like a lot. I've gotten a lot faster since then, but I'm a bit slow and methodical, not a rocket builder. And here was my third build in this world. As you can see, very obviously an elven build. And I was quite pleased with how it turned out. I'd been meaning to have a go at an elven style build for some time, and finally got around to it. Ideally, you'll note the tower seems to overpower the rest of the build a little bit, but I really would like to have been able to do that 2 or even 3 times the size, and I may have another go at it at some stage, doing exactly that, a much larger building, because because of the shape and the split level ground and things, I had to sort of cram whatever I could inside, which wasn't really to my satisfaction. But let's go down, and now I kept this blue and white theme throughout the roof, and you see the internal walls are done with this blue which shows through the gaps in the white on the outside, and that really does look quite nice. But I wanted a highlight that showed as well, and so I used this texture with the stone buttons in a lovely veranda which you look over the setting sun. And upstairs onto this level, it's quite simple and sparse. I really do like this texture as well. It's really, really nice pillars. Again, those maps. And that is a head, believe it or not. I think it's actually the character head. But it looks really nice, like a little lockbox or something similar. A simple room, table, chairs, but quite nice. Let's get along, and we'll go up the tower first. And it's quite a long way up. Actually, it's a very long way up. It's a very long way up. Ah, here we are. Again, these beautiful windows with their marvellous connected texture. Monsterfish has done an absolutely brilliant job on this pack. Like, that is just stunning. In my personal opinion, now some people might disagree with me because everybody has their own favourite, I think this is really the ultimate texture pack for doing medieval or fantasy style builds, simply because of the sheer volume of extra blocks that are available via metadata. And I really urge people to check it out. It's just too beautiful. But there's not much up on this tower. It's really somewhere for the elves to be contemplative and all elvish like they are. But back down we go. You'll notice I left exposed glowstone here. I normally don't like to do that. I prefer to do this sort of thing and cover them with, because they can be a bit garish, the glowstone. It's sort of just too bright, and putting trapdoors over the top sort of tones it down and adds another level of detail, I guess. Let's go back down and out. So there it is. I was quite pleased with these ends. I wanted to keep the split level thing right through the end of the build, so that the front roof is lower than the back, and that made it a little weird when it came to actually building the ends and the dormer windows. These windows on the end, this is what you call a dormer window. We don't see many of those in Australia, but they really look nice. And I was very pleased with it overall. I like the detail of these serpenty, dragony things. Very simple, but it's quite effective, I think. But maybe you can tell me what you think. So this has been my first video. Please like, subscribe, maybe share it with your friends. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Maybe you can offer me some suggestions of things I might do. Bye for now.